Well, this is Dunluce Castle. These romantic ruins perched dramatically on a rocky headland are a testimony to this region's turbulent past. During the Middle Ages, the castle was a prized fortification. But on a stormy night in 1639, dinner was interrupted as half of the kitchen fell into the sea, taking all of the servants with it. That was the final straw for the lady of the castle. The Countess of Antrim packed up and she moved inland, and the castle began its slow submission to the forces of nature. Well, now, although it's one of the largest castles in Northern Ireland, and you cannot doubt that it is beautifully situated here, there's precious little left to see among the Dunluce's broken walls. You can look at the walls as we approach them and look for those hexagonal stones, the same things that we saw just a little while ago at the Giant's Causeway. There is a nice little 8-minute video that you can watch before you go in there. And then the rest of the time, you just basically wander the ruins. There's nice little plaques are dotted around that show some interesting artist renditions, if you will, of what the place would have looked like around 400 years ago. What a view! What an absolute view! Now there were some primitive fortifications here about before the castle was built, but in the 16th century, that's when the greatest or biggest expansion of the castle, which was financed by a shipwreck that was salvaged just offshore. In 1588, the Spanish Armada Girona, which was overloaded with sailors and the valuables of three abandoned sister ships, they all sank on her way home after the aborted mission against the English. More than 1,300 drowned, and only 5 survivors washed ashore. The shipwreck was more fully excavated in 1967, and a bounty of golden odds and silver ends wound up in Belfast's Ulster Museum. It's pretty hard to argue that this was one hell of a view.